Simply add items during wash. Add wash. Recipe for Success, proudly brought to you by Samsung.
Welcome to Recipe for Success. Now, we all know how difficult it is to find a job these days, let alone that dream job. Now, this show provides the opportunity for a student chef to do just that, to land that dream job. Every week, the chef has to cook a dish for one of South Africa's top chefs. And if they're good enough, they walk away with a job offer. They'll have to impress the chef with their preparation, cooking skills, and presentation to get the job. So it's all up to them. I'll also be chatting to some of South Africa's leading entrepreneurs to find out more about their food and wine preference, but to also get their recipe for success. And then there's still the viewers' competition. But let's get down to business. This week's student is from Joburg.
Hi, I'm Jeanette Moseneke. I am a mom and a wife. I live in Joburg and I love cooking. I was previously employed as a digital specialist in the corporate world, and when I went on maternity leave, I decided to take cooking lessons. And I specifically chose Asian cooking because part of my background is that I am part Asian and part African. So in trying to understand that side of the family, or that side of my existence, I took Asian cooking classes, and that sparked a bug. And once it had bitten, I decided this is my passion and this is what I need to pursue. After completing my studies, I look forward to starting my own catering company, the first Black female-owned catering company that will contend with the likes of Word of Mouth, Saffron Kitchen, and I'd like to almost reimagine African cuisine. Being on the show is validation more than anything. It means I'm on the right path, and this job offer would mean the world to me because I left a lot behind me. And I have no doubt that the future will look bright in the culinary arts.
Jeanette sets very high standards for herself, achieves them. Strong individual, practically very, very good. Will run her own business one day, and I wish her best for the future.
Hi, Jeanette. It looks like you've got all your stuff done. You ready for today?
I'm amped, I'm ready.
Not nervous at all?
Good nerves. Nerves are always essential. Good.
It is important, huh? It pushes you.
Absolutely.
So listen, Chef Niel Jewel that's coming today, a good friend of mine, a well-respected chef in the industry. You know, he's got very high standards, so you've got to impress him today.
I plan to.
You're going to do that today,
I plan to.
Okay. I'm rooting for you, so I believe you can do that. Let's have a look where you might be working up to today's episode.
Bread and Wine Restaurant exudes an old-world charm. It is a character-filled, rustic restaurant that has won numerous accolades for its honest food. The restaurant has its home on a little slice of magic known as Morrison Wine Farm, a tranquil paradise located at the end of the aptly named Happy Valley Road. Chef Niel Jewel's journey began as a child, where his mother's freshly baked cakes and the family cooking apple tree sparked a devotion for food nurtured by all the best ingredients. This passion continued to grow and shows in the dedication that is put into making each mouthful an absolute pleasure. The atmosphere and setting of the restaurant transports you back to a time where your life was less cluttered. You find that shortly after arriving, you are standing a little taller, walking a little slower, and smiling a lot more.
Niel, good to see you, man. Thanks for joining us today. I know you're a busy guy. Jeanette, meet Niel. Niel, Jeanette.
Nice to meet you, Niel.
Nice to meet you.
So like I said, Jeanette, earlier, you've got to impress Niel today. I mean, he likes to eat as much as I do, and he loves good food. So you've got to impress him, but I'm behind you. I believe you can do this. So show us what you've got, but it's not up to me. Niel's going to decide at the end, you know. You've got to impress him. Niel, it's all up to you, so take it away.
So, what are you cooking today?
I'm making my version of butter chicken, a healthier version. It's got butter, but in small amounts, so it's good for your figure, but taste is good.
So, how long will this dish take you to cook?
The dish will take me between 45 minutes and an hour, and I aim to impress you.
Well, I'm sure you're going to. You've got some nice produce in front of you. But then let's push on.
Thank you very much. Chef Ruben and Chef Niel are there watching this whole thing. I'm feeling very nervous, but nerves are good. I'm nervous, but organized in my mind. So, yeah, and I'm hoping to impress. To start my butter chicken dish, I heated some oil over a medium flame. After that, I added my spice mix. Next, I added my cinnamon sticks, followed by bay leaves and curry leaves. I cooked that for a further 30 seconds just to release the flavor. Next, I fried my onions until they were cooked through. They were followed by my aromatics, chopped garlic and ginger.
Jeanette, can I just stop you? If you see the garlic's got a green piece in the middle,
Yes.
inside the, but that's a very bitter part of garlic.
Oh.
So just cut that clove in half and remove that green piece, and you won't get that bitter. That's it. Throw him away. He's nasty, and your food will taste much nicer.
Directly after that, I added canned tomatoes to create the gravy. I cooked the gravy for about 3 minutes to cut through the acidity. I cut my chicken into cubes and added it to the gravy. Next, I add a very unusual ingredient, honey, and it makes all the difference. I let the ingredients marry together for about 5 minutes and then add cream. For my roti recipe, I put in a cup of flour, sprinkled in some salt, added boiling water. It needs to be boiling water to ensure that the mixture is pliable. Next, I knead the mixture until it's soft and easy to roll out. Just before I start rolling out my dough, I sprinkle a little bit of flour on the work surface. Then I roll out my dough, and I'm using the biggest rolling pin on earth. I looked at the wine rack and I thought, maybe I should just use one of those bottles, but I have a reputation to keep. So I just carried on and cut it out into small circles. Once I cut my circles, the rotis are ready to be fried. At this point, everything looks good. My gravy is the thickness I wanted. The meat is cooked. I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable and confident with my dish.
The world's most lifelike picture, SUHD TV. Recipe for Success, proudly brought to you by Samsung. You won't believe what you can make in a microwave. Hot Blast. Recipe for Success, proudly brought to you by Samsung.
The chef sitting right next to where I was working was a little bit daunting. From where they were sitting, they could see every single thing, every error. So that was a little bit nerve-wracking, to say the least. To create drama to my dish, I decided to create shards of roti. In order to do that, I put them in the oven to crisp them up. I know my curry packs a little bit of heat. I decided to make a raita. For my raita, I use finely shredded mint, plain yogurt, apples cut into small matchsticks, and mixed it all in. Okay, chefs, I'm finished now. I'm just waiting for my rotis to crisp up for my presentation.
Excellent. So Neil, what do you think?
Well, it's proof's in the pudding, huh? It's smelling delicious, so it's an encouraging sign, so, yeah. Are you happy?
I'm happy, chef. I'm happy.
You've eaten most of it already, actually. I'm a bit concerned. You did save some for me and Ruben. I saw your tastings. It was very generous.
Tasting is important, so yeah, it was just the gravy, so there's plenty of meat for you guys.
Nice. I love butter chicken, so I can't wait to taste that. So while you start the preparation for plating, last week I had a glass of wine and a chat with Cheryl Nesbitt, the founder of Capsicum Culinary Studio, to find out more about her recipe for success. So Cheryl, how did it all start for you?
Well, it probably goes back to a long time before the actual start of Capsicum. I was always very passionate about education. And as a 5-year-old child, loved being in the kitchen with my grandmother and my mother. And I think Capsicum just ended up being a culmination of two of my passions coming together. So that was really the beginning for me.
So what's some of the challenges of chef schools?
I think that for us, one of the biggest challenges is just that the industry is portrayed by the celebrity chefs on TV as being very glamorous and like an easy place to work. And And the reality is it's not so easy. It's quite, it's quite tough. There's long hours. You have to work really hard. But I think that for me, the opportunities that await students, it's not just about working in a 4- or 5-star hotel. There's so many opportunities. There's private yachts, there's the cruise ships, there's private catering, there's catering, the list is endless of all the potential things that you can do. I think for me, the success is when people have started their own businesses and seeing what these past students are actually doing now. For me, that's just very inspiring.
So, a little bit about yourself. Do you cook a lot at home? What do you enjoy?
I do.
Wine, I'm sure you enjoy a good
Obviously
glass of
enjoy wine.
Yeah.
Who doesn't? You can't come from Cape Town and not enjoy wine. I think that I cook mostly every day. I always said I was going to be one of those moms that didn't cook a separate meal for her children, but I profess I do because I like very tasty food.
Yeah.
My partner's a really good chef, and so we often, I'll start the meal and he'll finish it, or he'll start and then he'll finish it as well. But we both love cooking, and going out to a restaurant for us sometimes is like, no, let's rather stay at home and cook. I mean, I've always been passionate about food, and I'm always in awe of what some chefs can actually do and prepare, and I'm always fascinated by the latest trends in cooking, and so that keeps me on my toes, trying to keep up to date.
So Cheryl, what is your recipe for success?
Ruben, I think it's about passion. I think people that are passionate about something, whatever it might be, are successful in business. They really make it work because they're so passionate about it. I think I wish people were more supportive of people wanting to start businesses. I find in South Africa we tend to be quite, we tend to not support people starting a business, and I wish that we had a culture here of when someone said, I want to start a business, going, wow, how can we help you? And I see that overseas, and I really wish for young people that they got support of their family and friends when they said they want to start a business. I think for me, the success in business has always been about the business plan. It's about really understanding your business and also understanding your own strengths and weaknesses. If you're weak in, for example, the financial side, then you need to bring an expert in to help you. If you're weak on marketing and sales, you need to bring an expert in to help you. And in the beginning, you might not think that the cost of it is justified, but actually I've discovered over time that the cost is definitely justified in bringing in the experts. And we're not all good at everything. So if we allow the experts to help us in the areas that they're experts in, your business, will definitely succeed.
Well, Cheryl, thank you very much. Well done on all your successes, and
thank you.
Also for all the future endeavors. Success, I know, will follow you around. So thanks for spending some time with us. All the best. Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.
Now, Cheryl's really built a great company teaching the young chefs of tomorrow. Now, Jeanette, you can start plating, and then we'll see you at final presentation.
Thank you, Chef.
Okay. Good luck.
Thank you. The most nerve-wracking, I think, of the whole process is not just the cooking, the plating for me, because curry is just curry. How do you make curry dramatic? How do you make curry attractive? So a lot of the ideas for plating came to me as I was preparing the dish. It was very important that I represented every single ingredient on the dish, and it needed to stand out on its own and still work as a combination. So I didn't sleep last night just thinking about plating. So yeah, I think it's gonna look good.
Finally, a fridge you can personalize. Top mount freezer. Recipe for success. Proudly brought to you by Samsung. Works and plays together perfectly. Note 7, Gear Classic. Recipe for success. Proudly brought to you by Samsung.
It's time to present. This is one of the most important interviews of my life, and it's almost like an out-of-body experience because I don't know what will happen when I lift the clutch. I know I've done what I can, but it's still up to somebody else to decide my fate. Chefs, I've completed the task. I'm happy with my outcome. I hope you enjoy the dish. I have prepared for you a butter chicken with an apple and mint slaw, as well as a raita with some coriander in it and crisped up rotis. I hope you enjoy the dish.
Nice. And a tricky to plate a curry.
Yeah,
Nice,
I was thinking, how do you turn a curry into an elegant dish? And much as I love a good curry and rice as a generous portion, I was very interested to see how you was going to do this. And when I saw the choice of plate, I was a bit confused. But you surprised me. I'm very hungry.
Thank you, Chef.
And the crispy roti is also not something that you see often.
I've got soft roti, in case you
So
want to
you're
pick it up with your
giving us some
hands.
options.
You're feeding us up, you're fattening us up.
And what about the wine?
I chose to pair my curry with the Marsanne 2014 Makenta Chardonnay. I chose this wine because it pairs really well with the curry, and it also works as a palate cleanser, so please enjoy.
Okay, Neil, let's get in there.
There was some reluctance at some point, and I was like, oh my God, this is my best, this is my heart, I put me on a plate. Any more than this is, I don't know how to do it. I was dying. The nerves were taking over my body, but yeah, this is it. This is the moment.
Well, from my side, I have to say I really like it. But, I mean, it's up to Neil. I think he's finished that already. So
you didn't say me much, eh?
Well, I'll take some of the sauce then. That's what a curry is about. I mean,
Absolutely.
a good sauce.
You've got a very good balance of flavour. Cooking's easy. It's a frying pan, salt and pepper, but balance of flavour and seasoning. Some chefs don't master that at all. It's a gift to be able to season food and to understand what you've done. I'm very impressed with your structuring of that dish and the layers, and especially the presentation. I thought was superb.
I agree. It was well balanced for curry. I mean,
I was expecting what we saw. Sort of showed sort of that direction, and you said, screw that, you've done that, and you've done this, which I think is, for someone who's a student, it's really encouraging. You said that you're very keen into Asian food. Do you know that the restaurant that I work at, we do very little Asian food. We do more nose to tail, simplistic, start from raw ingredients and produce our own thing. Yeah. Is that exciting?
That is very exciting, but you can always introduce an Asian flavour seasonally, one dish.
No, we can.
Yeah.
You're very stubborn, aren't you? A bit of a feisty, like that Joburg gangster's coming out of you now, isn't it? Huh? No, I mean, the menu, the structure of our food is, as Ruben says, each restaurant has its own formula for what it does well. I'd hate to see your potential dulled down by our take on modern sort of cooking.
If it's food, it's exciting.
No, that's cool. No, food is, I mean, it's also very personal. You've got dreams. It's encouraging also to see youngsters with dreams. And I'd hate to be a person to break someone's dream. You've got a dream, that's fantastic. My biggest concern is, would you really enjoy bread and wine?
Ultimately, I want to be an all-round cook, so I'm not going to focus on just one thing. I need to be able to be adaptable, so...
I mean, we have a very good structure in our kitchen, and we have a very good... we do the simple things really well. And I'm quite arrogant, obnoxious towards where I get my produce from. I don't just buy lamb chops from...
cheapest place.
somewhere. It's got to be a specific why we're buying this, because it's the best. I spend far too much of my boss's money on ingredients. But that's my belief. I think it should be about the food.
So we're going to leave Niel to it a little bit. Niel, you can mull over that for a while. And I'm sure you're anxious to find out whether you're going to move to Franschhoek or not.
Yes.
But before we get to that, it's now time for our viewers' competition.
There are almost 250,000 Rand in prizes to be won in our Recipe for Success viewer competition, which includes a full lifestyle solution worth over 100,000 Rand from Samsung, comprising of a Galaxy S7 Edge smartphone, a Galaxy Tab S2 tablet, a color laser multi-function printer, a 55-inch curved SU HD TV, a water wall dishwasher, a top-mount freezer, and a hot blast convection microwave oven. From Capsicum, a City and Guilds Diploma Bursary in Food Preparation. From Fine and Fabulous Neo Group SA, Jean de Bois Le Qual 24-piece French cutlery set. From Grand Cru Glassware, 8 Riedel varietal specific glasses. And from Mervyn Gurr Ceramics, a handmade crockery set for 4. Only one lucky viewer will win all of these prizes. You can enter via SMS or on our website. To qualify for the grand prize, you need to correctly answer one of our viewers' competition questions. The more you enter, the better your chances. The competition closes on Sunday, the 4th of December at midnight, and the winner will be announced right after the last episode on the 6th of December, 2016. For more information and terms and conditions, please visit www.recipeforsuccess.tv. This week's question is, what was Cheryl Nesbitt's recipe for success? Was it A, follow your passion, B, always use fresh ingredients, C, wake up early every day? Please SMS Samsung followed by your answer A, B or C to 41703 or enter on our website www.recipeforsuccess.tv.
So Niel, have you made up your mind? I mean, do you think Jeanette will enjoy Franschhoek and will she enjoy bread and wine?
When I watched you, I'm quite good at making out people if I'm going to like them or not. I'm very methodical in my approach to food and how I work. Watching you, I could see you were very, very nervous. Again, you did a curry. I had my preconceived idea of what you were going to do and how it was going to be plated. And then you surprised me. You showed an amazing structure of sauce, a fantastic reduction. You've used slow cooking and very fresh ingredients. You've done traditional roti and then you made a crisp one, which I hate to say it, Ruben hasn't done that yet, okay? So we've done really well. I think it would be a big character adjustment to fit into a sort of the style of bread and wine, because we don't do that much curry, unfortunately. We do use lots of flavours. I'm quite keen, I think. And I would really like to offer you a job at the restaurant, if you're keen.
That's awesome, isn't it?
It's
looks
great.
Looks like you.
I'm just taking it all in.
Well, there's a trip to Franschhoek coming up soon, it seems. But congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I'm sure you're going to learn so much.
Thank you.
I can really say that, I mean, I love Niel's food. He's been around for a long time. The guys that's been through his kitchens, they've learned amazing things and they've gone on to bigger and better things as well. So this was a unique opportunity. You grabbed it and you made it, and I'm really happy for you. And I live in Franschhoek too, so I'm sure I'll see you around there then. Niel, thanks for your time, man. Really great seeing you again.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. See you next week.
I'd like to thank Chef Ruben, Chef Niel, Samsung, and my heart, my husband, more supportive husband, and my son. Without them, it wouldn't be possible. Thank you for your support.
Everything you need to succeed. Samsung. Business in a box. Recipe for Success. Proudly brought to you by Samsung.